Hi there, everyone. You've reached Beery Good Entertainment. I'm Sorceress Zero, and my friend is Lola Laracy. Hi, Lola. How you doing?
I am great. I'm on my almost on my second beer. Not quite there,
Ah,
but almost.
awesome. Yeah, we'll talk about our beers for this podcast in just a second. The topic for this particular podcast is a political topic, and it is the hypersexualization of women, which is it is a really contentious thing showing up everywhere, anywhere, and everywhere.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not wearing a bra, so sorry. I'm
Burn?
sure.
Did you
I'm
burn
sure
your
half of.
bra? Did you burn your bra again?
You know what? Actually, true story. I put it up in my closet because I plan to wear it tomorrow, and so the less sweat, the better.
That's actually very reasonable. That's super reasonable.
Yeah, it's better than having to wash it again. I only wore it out for like an hour today, so I'm like,
Yeah.
it's still salvageable. I'm just gonna put it back where I found it.
So, what are you drinking for this?
Okay, I didn't want to do one I hadn't done before because I'm trying to save all the new beers for like our specific beer shows. So
Yeah.
this is one I've had before, but it's a good one. It's an oldie but a goodie. And it's not even that old. I just had it like a few weeks ago for the first time. Duclass, Sweet Baby Jesus.
Oh, you kill me. You
You
kill
know
me.
what? You're gonna get one.
Oh,
I just have to wait till I have the money to send it, but you are going to get one. Because I
sweet
bought
baby Jesus.
Sweet Baby Jesus, and you will want to say that. You'll want to cross your eyes and go, Sweet Baby Jesus.
And what is it?
Woo!
What is that beer again? Can you describe it?
Chocolate peanut butter porter. And
Oh,
I'm trying to remember. I remember I got one thing, but not quite the other. I'm trying to remember if I got the peanut butter and not the chocolate. I remember I loved it, but I do remember that I remember saying, oh, I don't really get this, but I got this. So
and
I'm thinking I got,
is that the imperial version?
this is just regular. It doesn't say
Oh, okay.
imperial. Let me see what
They do have a different version of it, don't they?
you're probably right. This is only 6.2% ABV.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they probably do have an imperial version, but hey, I still liked it. It's one of those ones I heard about this for years because our friends at Craft Beer Nation talked about this religiously,
Yeah.
and I was never able to get it. And just all of a sudden, 3 weeks ago, it popped up in Jacksonville, Florida, like it wasn't nothing. It just said, "Hey, I'm here," and I went, "Ah!" I just blew out a bunch of podcast listeners' ears. Sorry.
Duclaw,
Hash
Duclaw.
Duclaw, Sweet Baby Jesus. All right, I haven't opened it yet. Let's see. Let me find my little bottle opener. The funny thing is, I was gonna be good and just have like a soda and Bailey's or something, but we have been so into our beer talk tonight, I couldn't do it. I was like, I need another beer. The funny thing
The
is,
beer
though,
companies thank you.
I thank me because I had to do it. I had to know the beer, but most of my beer glasses are in the dishwasher waiting to be washed.
Yeah.
So, hello, wine glass. Let's see how this does. And I'm going to pour it correctly. There you
Oh.
go. No head. I
Is
don't.
this a really thick beer?
I remember it being thick, although it's not high in ABV, so does it seem like it should be thick? But yeah, I remember it being thick.
I love how the head starts forming, and you're even gently pouring, and the
I
head is
know.
forming already.
And the
Now,
head is like in the middle, huh?
what temperature is it best to serve this at? Like really cold, middle cold, leave it out for like a half an hour.
I would say a little lukewarm. Like I would probably ideally take this out 30 minutes before I was going to drink it. Because it's a porter, so it's a rich beer. So you
Yeah.
want to be able to taste all the layers of flavor. And we
Yeah.
do that better when it's a little bit warm. Because with it being cold, I'm going to taste cold. That's going to be the first thing
Yeah.
I taste, and we don't want that. But you know what? It's straight out of the refrigerator. It's still going to be good. But
Yeah.
ideally, I think as it warms up, it's going to have more flavor. So ideally, probably when I taste it right now, I'm going to get a lot of cold up front. But as we go on, I'm going to be like, I taste something different.
Yeah.
That can be nice too. As it goes on, you're like, tastes a little bit different. Oh, peanut butter.
I'm like leaning forward because I imagine I'm smelling
Smell it. Pure peanut butter. I hope no one's allergic because it's all peanut butter. I feel so sorry for people who are allergic to peanut butter. This is all peanut butter.
Oh. And the head on that is, it's actually really beautiful, isn't it?
I know. It's very creamy. It's a small head, but it's well formed. And you know, it's dense. It's not airy. It's not thin at all. It's just very viscous and it has attitude.
Hold it up a little bit more. There you go. Oh my.
And it looks like that in person too. You cannot see through this.
Dark
It is
black.
Dark. You cannot see through. This is opaque. They made the word opaque based on this. It's like you're looking into the universe.
It looks like the head sticks to the glass.
It is. The lacing is really good. I mean, it is really viscous. It is definitely making its mark there.
Okay, we'll go ahead and taste it so that I can drool.
Peanut butter. Like I remember, I don't get the chocolate. It says it's a chocolate peanut butter porter. I don't get the chocolate, but that's okay. I'm happy with the peanut butter. I mean, probably I would say the peanut butter would override any chocolate taste anyways. So really, I'm just tasting peanut butter, but that's totally fine because I love peanut butter.
Could you put this over a cereal?
Yeah, like you could.
Would it be good like over Kix cereal?
Yes, I would put it over. I would put it over. What's that? Rice Krispies, like chocolate Rice Krispies,
or Chex.
Chex isn't Chex kind of salty?
No, the Chex mix is salty.
Oh.
Chex cereal itself doesn't have anything except just the corn or rice or wheat, whichever one you pick.
This would taste good over it. Okay, and now that I'm all right, now that I'm smelling it and tasting it, I do get the chocolate. I do get there's a slight chocolate overcoat, like, you know, overtaste. Mainly I get the peanut butter, but if I think about it, I do get the chocolate. Yeah, just a bit of chocolate. This is good. This is really good. Cybernaut says Captain Crunch.
Ooh, Captain Crunch. Yeah.
Yep. I would say put this over any cereal that is either not flavorful on its own or maybe a chocolate flavor. I wouldn't put it over, like, if you have like Fruit Loops or something. I might not do that.
Fruit Loops. Yeah, kind of weird, wouldn't it?
That might be a bit much, I think. So I would stick with, I guess, like you said, like the Chex, maybe Wheaties or something like that.
Yeah.
Or some of the chocolate cereal. It would be good over chocolate cereal too.
Well, I also have one that I've actually had before.
Oh my God. Okay.
This is 21st Amendment's Monk's Blood.
I've never had that. I love 21st Amendment. See, we don't get that. We do not get that. I've never seen that. I've seen all kinds of 21st Amendment.
Wow. Whoop. Oh, I am just a pouring disaster today.
You gave me all your mojo.
I did. I gave you all my pouring mojo. There we go. I'm going to sop up my spill on the... And it's, you know, it's supposed to be, it's listed as a Belgian strong dark ale. But I swear I see red in here.
That's, you know, it's darker than my dark ale from before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely has some red in it. But at least it's not see-through like my beer from before.
Yeah, and it doesn't stick to the glass very much, but I wouldn't expect it to. It doesn't have a whole lot of head to it.
Okay.
And the head is a slightly yellowish tinge to it.
Yeah, I see that.
A lot of bready aromas, bready and I would almost say sour, but not really. I'm not sure how to describe. Very Belgian aroma, but not banana. Does that make sense?
I know sometimes I think their yeast kind of has that banana taste, right? Is it the yeast that has the banana taste?
But Belgians don't always have the banana to it. Like their strong ales almost have a slight sour aroma to them.
Okay.
The first sip is always startling to me.
Okay.
Because the very first sip I take attacks my tongue, and I'm not sure what taste it is.
Mm-hmm.
I get everything from like raisin to pine to horse blanket to
All righty then.
That very first sip is, like an eye opener, like
disorienting. It sounds disorienting.
Disorienting. It is very disorienting.
And Cybernaut asked, raisins and plums? Do you get any plums?
Yeah, raisins and plum. Yeah, there's plum in this. The second sip is less raisin, a little more plum. It's pretty fruity, but alcoholish fruity.
Okay.
What is the ABV on this? Where is it? I'll just go to Beer Advocate. It's easier. This is 8.3%.
Oh, that's higher than mine.
It is Belgian strong dark ale brewed with cinnamon on oak chips with figs. So I'm getting figs.
That makes sense. Yeah. There's still the dark fruit. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. Nice. I like figs.
It's almost like the fruit's been, instead of it creating the alcohol, it's almost like the alcohol, like the fruit was soaked in alcohol before they put it in the beer. That's what it tastes like.
So it's like heightened. Turbo fruit.
It's turbo fruit. Yes,
I like that. Okay, cool. That sounds awesome.
Totally recommend it for anybody who likes 21st Amendment.
Yes.
Totally get it in that.
I'm going to say right now, one of the
artwork on the can is just beautiful.
Did it come in their fridge pack? Like they have those fridge packs.
Oh no, I actually got I got this from a brewing supply store, so I just got one can.
Just one? Okay, because one of the things I love about 21st Amendment is they package a lot of their beers, and it's almost like a fridge pack. It's rectangular, and you get, do you get 6 or 8 in them? I want to say
6. 6, I think.
But it makes it feel like it's more. It feels like you're getting a real purchase,
It should be either 6 or 12. No, not 12. It wouldn't be 12. It'd be 6.
I want to say 8.
I could be wrong.
Well, the thing, I'm looking around, I'm like, I have tons of freaking 21st Amendment, but yet I can't see where they are. But I want to say it's 8. I feel like it's more than you would normally get. All right, let me look it up. I'm going to look it up. Hold on.
We have to.
I can do this.
We have to know.
We have to know. 21 ST Amendment. Okay, I don't care about the Constitution. F you and your freaking Constitution. I'm talking about beer, mofos.
Well, the Hell or High Watermelon comes 6 in a pack.
It could just feel like it's more. It just feels like it's more because it's such
a 6 packs of cans in boxes.
The box just makes it feel bigger. I love their boxes. I really love their boxes.
Well, speaking of packaging.
Yeah, that's a good segue.
Speaking of packaging, how we package women is our topic for tonight.
That is true.
And how we actually sexualize them to an extreme amount. Now, I know we've gone through this a little bit with some of the discussions on like video games. And this happens from, we've seen this from Trump.
She's a 6 at most.
Yeah, I mean, he's talking about his kid in a sexual way, comparing her to her mother.
He would do her.
I mean,
some effed up
what a way to start a kid's life. Just start the child out sexually.
Yeah.
Expecting them to be a sexual being. That's not exactly fair.
Nope. But it's all about the brand.
Yeah.
When you think about Trump, he's all about the brand, and his children are probably part of the brand too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Melania in like yoga pants and a t-shirt.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
She always seems to have to be super female.
Put together like a Barbie doll. And
Barbie doll. Oh, and Barbie dolls are my nemesis. My absolute nemesis. Even when my kids were growing up, I hated handing out Barbie dolls because here's this image, and not only is my little girl looking at this, but what about all the little boys who are playing? And these are the dolls that they see. This is what a woman is supposed to be. And this is what you're supposed to think about. You're supposed to think about boobs and butt.
And waist. Tiny waist.
Boobs, butt, waist.
Right. That's it.
And
big, little, big.
Yeah. So you think about boobs, butt, and waist, and men from the time they're little boys are subjected to this thought process. And then we get very angry when they grow up and they treat us as boobs, butt, and waist.
Right. And you even hear that. You say, are you a boob man or a butt man? You hear that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. How awful is that? I mean, it demeans us. And then it forces them to make a social choice based on nothing but physical endeavors.
What if they just like the woman?
Yeah.
Maybe they just like a person. Maybe they just like her. It puts them in a corner where they have to justify why they like someone. Well, I just like her. I don't know if it's her butt or her boobs. I don't know. Maybe it's none of the above. Maybe it's all of the above. Why does that have to factor in at all?
So are we manipulating men as much as we manipulate women from the time they're little? Is that a manipulation factor, do you think?
I think that goes back to our show from a few days ago. It could be part of training. Everyone gets trained. For better or for worse, we all do. That's part of being a child and being receptive. Children mimic what they hear and what they see.
Yes.
So in some instances, men have these ideals imprinted upon them. And of course, we hope that they see through this and realize that this is just a mirage. This isn't real. But at the same time, some men don't get that. They don't see that. And I'm not going to say they're off the hook. I'm not going to say it's not their fault, but I'm also going to say there's precedence for it. There's a reason why this happens. There's a reason why this keeps coming up over and over again. They're taught this way. And as women, some of us are taught to flaunt that. We're taught to use it. So it really comes back to what we've been given from when we were a child. It's the tapes that we were given to play over and over again. And it's up to us to, see through that and kind of make our own way. And that's hard.
Yeah. And then of course we wind up being adults, and then we have to make those decisions, and then we see it in the media, the struggle between whether to be sexual and what is sexual. And I think that is the Emma Watson article
Mm-hmm.
really shows that. Which article would you like to share?
They both have basically the same summation. And we should explain the issue before we talk about it. One of the things that I would like to mention when we do our next Scannerdrome show, we have a tendency to go off on a tangent about an article without actually reading what the article is about.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we talk about first what this article is about? And both of them, if I read them correctly, have the same viewpoint. So why don't we talk about the issue first? What happened?
Good idea. Do you want to explain the article?
I'll do it. Okay, Emma Watson did a photo shoot. God help us all, the world is over. She did a photo shoot. In one of many pictures, she had what I deem to be a very tasteful photo, a very pretty photo. She's wearing all white. She has almost like this kind of 1980s like Robotron type of haircut. But what's causing an uproar is that she's wearing a little Bodero jacket with nothing underneath, so you see under boob.
Yeah, there's no way you can't see nipple in this picture.
No, you don't see nipple.
See the shape of the breast underneath.
No, you just see under boob. And actually, it's the most PG way of showing nudity. I mean, this would probably get okayed on freaking ABC or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not distasteful. It's tasteful. And this is what we're talking about, art. To me, this is more like art. This is not sexualization. And in fact, some people in the comments of one of the articles makes the point that you could argue that she's not even sexy in this. We're talking about sexualization of women. You could argue she's not sexy. She doesn't have that, sexy look. Her hair is not particularly sexy. She's actually kind of severe looking in it. So
yeah, that's true. That is very true.
So a lot of people, I guess the controversy comes from a lot of people are tweeting that she's no longer considered a feminist because she showed underboob in a photo shoot. Well, my argument is a feminist is whoever a woman wants herself to be. The whole point of feminism is we have freedom to choose. We can be who we want to be. We can do what we want to do, say what we want to do, and that's a feminist. She wants to show underboob. You know what? I'm a big fan of underboob. I think underboob is great. I like side boob.
Now, did the article actually say anything about whether she chose the pose or whether, she was told she had to pose that way?
It didn't. And I'm actually looking at two different articles, and I'm going to put them in the YouTube chat. I don't think they let us do URLs. Let me see. All right. It says remove any web addresses and try again. YouTube. Dang you. All right. For anyone listening who wants to know which articles we're talking about, there are two. There's one from HuffingtonPost.com, and you can probably just search for Emma Watson and find it. And there's another from MoviePilot.com. And once again, you can probably search for it. And in the MoviePilot.com, they have a link to a video, which I have not watched the video, but it according to the article, it's her talking about Beauty and the Beast, which is the movie she's going to be in. And I don't know if she says if she had any say in the poses, but one of the things I get the sense of from Emma Watson is if she didn't want to do something, she wouldn't do it. I don't think she would do it if she didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really important point right there is, a lot of artists feel contractually obligated to do things they are uncomfortable with.
And that's not good.
Because the company does want to sexualize them to get more viewers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's completely wrong to me. It doesn't look like it happened in this. And the photo itself is not actually sexual, like you said. I mean, her pose is definitely, it's not an inviting pose. She's got her arms.
She's got her arms.
She's got her arms folded across her midsection, and her whole pose says, you know, I'm just here. It does not say, "Come get me, big daddy."
It's not "come hither." And you could even argue, since she has her arms crossed against her boobs, you could even argue that she's saying, "These are my boobs. Get away."
Yes. Yes.
You could even argue that this is a feminist statement because she has her semi-bare breast and she is not letting people in. So you could argue that this is a statement. Anti-sexualization.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the people who are calling her anti-feminist, I think they maybe need to look at it again.
No, I know that the photo shoot was for Vanity Fair. And Vanity Fair does have an obligation to their to the people that they're selling, you know, stuff for.
But Vanity Fair actually has been a pioneer in a lot of serious issues. They come out front of a lot of very serious issues. They actually have some of the best opinion pieces out there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't name anything right now because I've been having a lot of beer, but I really like Vanity Fair. They really do a good job. They make like several page articles. They do real investigative journalism, and they're not just pretty faces. So I actually respect Vanity Fair a lot, and these pictures make me respect them even more because this is fashionable. This is cutting edge, but this is not derogatory at all.
That's true. I mean, the whole photo seems to center on I believe the bolero is Bodero, the jacket.
I don't know if I'm saying it right.
I believe the jacket is Burberry, which is a highly fashionable name. And it when you look at the photo, your eyes are very drawn to it.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like this is the only piece, you know, you really need to make your ensemble work for you.
And that's a good point. It's a very bold statement. That's really all you need. And that's part of Vanity Fair. And I'd also like to add that one of the articles mentions this is like one of 12 different photos. This is a huge photo shoot. So this was not the only photo shoot. And I went to vanityfair.com. Oh, I found another article, by the way. E-Online has another article, and it says it has a video that addresses the controversy. So if you want, go to eonline.com and search for Emma Watson, and they actually have a video. But I want to go to Vanity Fair because I want to see the actual, if they have the actual photo shoot or at least a few more photos of it. Let me see. Okay.
And the photographer was Tim Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how important that is for people who are listening, but that's who.
Some people may know. I don't know a lot about photographers. I mean, my knowledge kind of ends with Fran Lebowitz. It begins and ends with Fran Lebowitz, and that's like from 30 years ago. But Linda, I just put a link. Wait, I meant to put a link. Did it go? Hold on. I have a link.
I don't see a link.
I copied it, but it didn't copy right. So I'm going to do it again. Why isn't it pasting? Okay, there it goes. All right. I just pasted a link to you from Vanity Fair. Do you see it? No, that's wrong again. Hold on.
The page you were looking for does not exist.
I know.
Oh my God. Emma vanished.
I know. All right, I got it this time. All right, vanityfair.com. If someone wants to look at it, it's vanityfair.com/Hollywood/2017/0/Emma-Watson-cover-story. And it has some of the photos, and they're gorgeous.
Oh my God, that first photo is she's dressed in this like ethereal, like very gauzy type dress with like beads on her neck, and she's staring straight ahead, but somebody has their legs up and she's laying down on their feet, hovering in the air like an angel.
That's gorgeous. She does look like an angel, like a trapeze angel, because it's like a trapeze pose. And keep looking down. I mean, there's one where she's like Blade Runner. She's got a suit on, and she has a Grecian statue head in her hands.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, one of the things about Vanity Fair is these are all like almost like cosplay. Different scenarios. It's art. And so what? She showed underboob in one. I'm looking at another one where she's wearing a fencing costume that completely covers her body.
Yes.
It's just all different scenarios, all different styles, and they picked out the one with underboob. That kind of shows. Huh?
Is this? I'm wondering if it's a bit of a backlash, because when we really saw Emma Watson originally, she's this little girl.
Yeah, she was little.
She's grown up, and she seems to be, naturally, because of the gorgeousness of her, she seems to naturally be turning to fashion as part of her career. The other part, of course, being acting. But she totally fits in fashion magazines.
Right.
She can do a range of different photos, and completely it's really artistic.
She's totally selling it.
Maybe because she's doing fashion, this is.
And maybe that's what people don't like. But I'm here to say we can be a lot of different things. We can be fashionable. We can be on the cover of Vanity Fair. We can be mothers. We can be CEOs. We can be suck ass. We can be perfect. We can be everything. We should not be pigeonholed.
Well, if you think about makeup, and makeup is something that I decided to do for this specific show. This is a real break for me. For the longest time, makeup to me meant covering myself up or making myself look good for somebody else, for somebody else's purpose. Okay. So for about like 15 years, 20 years now, I haven't put on makeup. It was itchy. It was horrible. It didn't feel like me. And for some reason, after I got my hair done, and I love this color. Thank you, Iro.
I love that color. That's awesome.
Fantastic.
It's so bright.
Yeah, it is brilliant, isn't it? I decided to actually go and try to look like one of my idols, David Bowie.
That's good. I like that.
And the only way to really do that was to do the makeup.
Well, and he was about makeup. He loved it. It was artistic for him.
Yeah, and I figured, artistic is okay, but I still felt very uncomfortable. I kept thinking to myself what other people were going to look at me as when I walked in the store.
And see, once again, that's other people's perceptions.
And I have to say, the very first store I walked in, I won't say the name of the store. The first store I walked in actually did give me the look like, what do you want that for?
I hate that.
No, you don't want a person who wears, makeup. And then I told the person behind the counter, I wanted to do kind of a David Bowie look. And she looked at me like, ew. She was like, weird. So,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, I hightailed it out of there. And I want to give a shout out to the people at Ulta Beauty here in Corvallis, because I walked in And there were like 7 or 8 women there working there that were just like me.
Yeah.
Bright hair, bright colors, but they were normal human beings.
They didn't intimidate you.
Yeah,
Or give you the
you
yeah.
know, when I mentioned I want to do kind of a David Bowie look, we're like, oh, that's fantastic. We've got everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me feel comfortable and made me want to do the artistic thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't feel like I was making myself up to come home to be the perfect wife.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like with me, my makeup isn't what you would think of when you think about, um, cover girl or anything like that. The makeup I do isn't, the perfect makeup so I look like the perfect person. I love color. I mean, back when I was in high school, I went through my Susie Sue phase, and I did the whole cat eyes out to here and white makeup and dark lipstick, and to me that was my makeup. And while I don't do the whole Susie Sue thing anymore, I still do it on occasion, and I still love bright colors. It's not about looking what other people say I should look like. It's not about
Mhm.
following fashion trends. It's about doing what I like to do. It's more of an artistic thing for me. And I'm not saying I'm an artist. I'm not saying I'm good at it. I've never been particularly good at it, but I like doing it. And
Mhm.
I love different colors. I was showing you this earlier. This is a little shout out to Urban Decay, because Urban Decay is like the most awesomest in the world and I love them dearly. But this is my lipstick case that I got from them. This was about $40. I bought this for myself for my birthday. And they've got all these different colors.
Yeah,
And
you
to me,
create so many looks with that.
it's a palette. It's an artistic palette. And I do it for myself. I've never done it for anyone else because, frankly, no one else besides me has ever said they liked it. In fact, I usually got bad commentary, especially in high school. People would say, "Why do you have to wear those colors? You need to wear natural makeup. Why don't your makeup shouldn't stand out? You should look like you don't have makeup." And I'm like, "Well, then what's the point? I like the color just like I love your hair. I love your hair color. I like the color. It's just, to me, it's an artistic expression. And most days I don't wear it because it's kind of a pain to put on. But when I get in a mood, I'll go all out and put it all on."
Now, here's a tough question.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we draw the line in makeup for purpose? I mean, there are women who feel they have to put on their face when they go clubbing
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that guys notice them.
Yeah.
I mean, are we responsible for that's a I don't even know how to ask it. Are we responsible for the reactions we get? Should we attempt to make ourselves look different so that we're not obviously trying to get a man?
Well, that's
Does that
actually
make sense?
that's actually kind of a good point, because Friday night I went to the mall by myself because Clint, he's not a mall person at all. And I wanted to go because I needed to get more foundation, and I wanted to go to Total Wine. Let's be honest, I wanted to go to Total Wine. And so, but one of the things I wanted to do, there's a little restaurant. It's a chain restaurant, but it's called M Shack, and they always have good beer. And so I wanted to go and have a hamburger and have good beer. Well, when I go, I sit at the bar because I'm by myself, so I don't want to take up a whole table. And when you're at the bar, you kind of get food service a little quicker. Don't tell anyone, but you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to feel a little self conscious because I was in the middle of a bunch of men, and I'm not there for any sort of interest whatsoever. I'm there to drink beer and have food. I'm not there for any sort of communion with anyone at all. And I was thinking about that. I was like, first of all, I know I'm not the traditional vixen. I don't look like one of those girls from that Robert Palmer video. So it was very doubtful that anyone thought I was there for that purpose. But I was thinking, I was like, what would I do if someone started propositioning me? And I realized, I was like, I look pretty damn dowdy tonight. No one's going to proposition me. And I felt kind of weird about thinking that, but it was the truth. I had my book bag with me. I just, I had like a jacket on and I had my glasses on and I didn't have any makeup on. And I just looked really dowdy. And I was like, and it was kind of sad to think about, but I was like, I think they all get that I'm not here to meet somebody. And in a way, it was relieving because I didn't have to worry about that. I was like, I don't have to worry about someone coming on to me. I like that. But it was also a little sad because I was like, fuck them. I'm like, I'm cool. But these were all things going on in my head. I was like, you know what? If someone wants to go out and meet someone, if they want to play that part, that's fine. That's their business. That's not what I'm into. I was there to drink beer and chew gum, and I was all out of gum.
Oh.
I don't even know what quote that movie's from, but I hear it and I like
very
it.
Familiar.
It's from a movie, but I can't remember what. Hopefully either Che or Sai know. I'm here to take names and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. I always hear that, and I like it, but I don't know what it's from. But anyways, I was there to drink beer and eat hamburger.
So, I mean, I feel okay wearing makeup on the podcast.
Okay.
But if I were to, like, put on something nice and go out, like, to a club, and then somebody talked to me and I told them, no, I'm not interested. I'm not here for, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I do hear that some women get the response, so why did you dress up and put makeup on?
What?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, I would be pissed off.
Dress up, put makeup on, go out to a club. Why'd you do that if you're not trying to get a guy to look at you?
Now that's when I would get snarky. We were talking last week about like when we get snarky. That's when I wouldn't even call it snarky. I would get belligerent. I would be pissed off. I'd be like, I put on makeup because I like it. And because maybe I like to pop out a little bit. I like to look nice. That's okay. That doesn't mean I'm here to get someone's sexual attention. It just means I want to look nice. That's all it means. Why do I get dressed? Because I don't want to go to jail. But that's actually the main reason I don't want to go to jail.
I want to go to jail.
That's the main reason I get dressed. But I want to look nice. I want to look presentable. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to engage someone sexually.
Che said it's from the movie They Live.
Okay. So I'm going to have to, I remember that name, but I can't quite remember the movie. So now I have to go back and rewatch the movie so I know what I'm quoting because I say it all the time. And I know it's from a movie. I'm like, I need to see it so I know what I'm quoting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It really does kind of, because I notice other women around Corvallis.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a few women that have extraordinary taste. I saw a woman the other day wearing this beautiful, like, it was a pink and white dress.
Nice.
And she was wearing, like, I hate to say like Barbie doll makeup, but her makeup was so perfect that it made her eyes sparkle, and it really, the curls on her hair were perfect, and she was so attractive. It was really hard to stop looking at her.
Striking. She was striking.
She was enormously striking.
Mm-hmm. And that's good.
Yeah. I mean, it really impressed me that, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to look like that. I don't, and I haven't done my makeup perfectly. I like to practice a little bit more and maybe do, lip liner or whatever. And I know guys who practice with makeup, and that's okay too.
And that's okay. Well,
But
that's another little side.
I'd love to look like that, but I am still in that. Does it make me look like I'm trying to get something?
And see, my opinion is no. It's all about attitude. Are you doing it because you're trying to get someone?
No. I don't even wear makeup to job interviews. And
Right.
I've always been told to wear makeup to job interviews. I don't like to. Because it feels like a form of manipulation to me.
Well, the only reason I do, I will say this. All right, I started taking a medication about 4 years ago. And when they upped it to 40 milligrams, my face broke out unlike anything I've ever seen before. My face broke out when I was a child, but nothing like this. This is gross, but I have like swaths of skin that's just broken out. And it happened at the same time I upped my medication. Now I'm seeing a dermatologist, and they're not interested in my backstory about my medication. They just gave me a cream and that was it. So no one's interested in why this is happening. No one really cares. Mm-hmm. So I put my medication on my face. It worked for a few months and then it stopped working. So honestly, it looks like I have some sort of disease. I have acne all over my face, just horrible, horrible eruptions. Mm-hmm. And so the only reason I am wearing makeup more consistently now is because of that, because I don't want people thinking I have some kind of communicable disease, because I know they will. And also, I don't want it to distract people. If I'm at work and I'm trying to make a point, I don't want to see their eyes going up to my acne.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have to feel like that, huh?
No, you shouldn't have to feel like that at all. I know there was I watched a video, I think a couple of months ago, where a woman did a video of her face before makeup. Okay. And I don't think her acne was caused by medication, but she had much more severe acne than you.
Okay.
And the comments on the video were really harsh.
Oh, no.
Wash your face once in a while.
What? Assholes.
Stop eating like a pig and maybe your acne will go away.
Assholes.
And then she went through and she did a different video where she did her regular makeup, and it's very heavy concealer. She does like 3 layers of, I think she does a foundation, then she does a concealer, and then she does another layer over that. That's before she starts the eyeshadow and the eyeliner and everything.
Yeah.
And then at the end, she put the video up, and the comments were enormously different. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're the most beautiful, same person.
Right.
And got comments from same people that bashed her on the other video.
It's like they don't even know. They don't even realize
they don't even know that this is the same person. Mm-hmm. It's how we're appearing to people, and people are only taking us as we look.
Right. And that's the thing. I don't like that I feel like I have to do this, but if I'm at work and I have huge blotches of acne on my face,
yeah,
I know people are looking at that. I can sense it. I can see them looking at that, and everything I say is out the door because they're thinking about that. And when I'm at work, I don't want them thinking about that. I want them looking at me, because it's hard enough for me to get people's attention. Just for myself, it's hard enough for me to get any sort of serious attention at work. So I don't want people looking at my acne. So that's one of the reasons why I took the bus out to the mall at 5:30 on a Friday and took a cab home, because I needed to get more foundation, because I don't want people looking at my acne. I sound like a commercial now.
Yeah.
But, and
you don't sound like a commercial. You sound like a human being. You don't want people staring at, at something and thinking something that they shouldn't have to be thinking, Yeah,
and Cybernaut, he had the same problem too, and he told me to try dropping carbs for a couple of weeks, except for beer, of course. And that actually makes sense, because I could see carbs having an effect on my skin. So I might try that. But I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
really,
I mean, dietary might work for you, but in some instances, makeup may be your only, maybe your only choice.
well, and like I said, I mean, there is a direct correlation between me upping my medication from 20 milligrams to 40 and the acne.
Mm-hmm.
My face was fine before. Face fine, upped
Yeah.
medication, face looks like spaghetti. So it is the medication. So what helped me before was flaxseed oil, and I kind of stopped doing it because I just got out of the habit. So I'm trying to make myself get
Yeah.
back into the habit of flaxseed oil. And I'm putting the stuff on my skin that the dermatologist gave me. And I've also got tea tree oil that I'm putting on my face. So I'm trying. And I've got my makeup. And it sucks. I mean, I used to not wear makeup to work because honestly, I barely get up in time to get dressed to go to work. I don't have time for makeup.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had to bring makeup to work with me to do it because otherwise
Yeah.
I look like I have a skin rash. And I don't want people looking at me and thinking, "Oh my god, what does she have? Am I going to catch it?" I don't want
Yeah.
anyone thinking that.
I mean, in our society, it's a very rational concern. So how do we stop the total over the top sexualization that that obviously not just affects us but also affects guys too? I mean, how early do we have to start?
Childhood. We
Do
have
we
to
have to
teach people.
I mean, the whole thing of girls wear dresses, boys wear pants, I think that's really starting to go the way of the beast. Girls wear pink, boys wear blue, and you have to dress. But it's even in it's an elementary school where girls are not allowed to wear certain clothes,
Mm-hmm.
and then in high school where girls have to wear certain clothes,
Mm-hmm.
bras.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wear a bra. You have to wear a bra at high school, otherwise you can't be here.
I remember this was like 20 years ago. I had a friend and I felt so bad for her. She got written up by human resources because she wouldn't wear a bra to her job. And she decided not to fight it, and I understand she didn't want the hassle. She decided not to fight it, but I felt so bad for her because what you're covered. Isn't that's the main thing? As long as
Yeah.
everything's covered, that's all that matters, right? Who are they to say how far my boobs hang?
Yeah.
My boobs hang low. They swing to and fro. Is that really their business? No, it's not their business. And to me, they shouldn't say that. As long as it's covered, that's all that matters.
And how about video games? We haven't even gone into video games yet.
Well,
Video.
that's
I
another thing
mean,
we've talked about. I mean,
we have talked about it in other shows, but I mean, giving characters that wear nothing but the teeny tiny little bra to go into combat.
mm-hmm.
One, why?
Mm-hmm.
And two, should we be not playing those games because we don't like it, or does that defeat the purpose because they're only expecting guys to like those games?
And we should be more vocal because they need to know that women like those games too. Maybe they'll change what they put in the video games if they know they have a broader audience of broads.
Yeah.
Broader audience of broads. Maybe. I
I
mean, I
mean,
think. Huh?
there's really, I mean, if I understand if you have a character in like a really hot environment, okay, I understand that you're gonna put her in a skimpy outfit because it's
Mm-hmm.
just hot,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe in a fashion game, that'd be totally appropriate. But to put every single female character in that same
It's just
outfit, no matter
ridiculous.
what they are,
Stomach bearing. big boobs, tiny
Yeah.
shirt. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And the big boobs and
Mhm.
the big boobs and the tiny waist, you know, boobs, butt, waist. It all
Right.
has to be perfect.
It's ridiculous. It's playing to humanity's most basic instincts.
Yeah, and we've worked pretty hard to,
Surpass those.
well, surpass those as the most important part. You know, we're not all about just survival anymore.
No,
Humans have gone far, far past that.
I hope so. But what do? I mean, you see these video game characters with the Laura Croft boobs. What do we do?
Yeah, that's a tough uh well, I'm not sure if Cybernaut says
Woman. I think
oh,
WM is woman.
I
They
don't
were
know.
better Marines.
I've had my ass kicked by a woman on more than one occasion. I'm not afraid to admit that. They were better Marines than I was at the time.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the things about the Marines is you're a Marine. That they tend not to judge. They're not supposed to judge on female or male. You are a Marine.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I like about the ideal of the military is you're a soldier, you're a sailor, you're a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
Not a woman or a man, not this nor that. You are a Marine. And I like that ideal. Cybernaut, one of them was your mother? Oh, a WM is a woman Marine. Okay.
Woman Marine, okay.
Cybernaut, did you work with your mother? I want to know this. Because I think that's awesome. Women mariners.
Women Marines don't go into combat in a bikini.
That's true. Yeah. They do not do that. They have uniforms.
That's true. You know what? I don't want my video game character going into battle knowing that she's going to get sliced from neck, you know, from neck to pussy by a sword because she didn't have any armor on.
Give her some freaking armor that covers her belly too. I mean, you know, you don't want her sliced in her belly.
Yeah. I want some of the really cool, awesome armor that, you know, I see. That Guild Wars really frustrated me with that. That I couldn't get the big armor. I want the big armor with the big shoulder pads and the big, you know, chest plate, and it was awesome.
That would be cool. And I would want a real uniform. I wouldn't want to go out with skimpy ass crap. But you know what? That's kind of funny because I saw something about the X-Files. I don't remember if it was from the new series of the X-Files or if it was just like an interview or something. But I remember Mulder saying something about running downstairs. Oh, okay. This is what it was. Mulder said, I can't run downstairs anymore. I'm older. And Scully said, I can still run downstairs and I'm expected to do it in heels. So that's another thing.
Oh, yeah.
We're expected to do stuff that men do, but we still have to have our accoutrements. We're supposed to have, you know, I don't wear heels, but some people do. But, you know, we're still supposed to have our nice shoes and our nice slacks or nice, you know, skirts.
Yeah.
We still have to be dressed up and still do the stuff that men do.
And I don't wear heels either. I stopped wearing heels a very long time ago. I will never wear them again, no matter what, because they're so uncomfortable.
I can't wear them.
But I really have to stop myself sometimes from thinking nasty things about other women who wear them.
And see, there's
another aspect to it.
Yeah.
I think nasty things about other women because they're more sexual than me, or they just look nicer than me. They wear high heels, and I'm like, why the hell do you need to wear high heels? That's ridiculous. You're just going to break your ankles.
And see, there's that inner judgment that goes on. And that's another thing that people have to face. Maybe not just women, but men too. The judgment from our peers.
Yeah.
You feel that. You feel judgment from your peers. You're And I feel judgment from other women that I'm not feminine enough. I'm not feminine enough. I'm too feminine. Which one am I? I don't know. I'm too this, I'm not enough that. And you get
Yeah.
it from other women too. And it's horrible. And that's why I try not to be too judgy. I mean, if someone's judging me, I'm going to be pissed off. But if they're just minding their own business, doing their own thing, being their own person, I try to let them be. They have their own reasons. It's like we were talking a few weeks ago about um, relationships where it seems like maybe the woman is a little subservient to the man.
Mhm.
And I said, I don't know them. I don't know what their dynamic is. I try to reserve judgment. I'm not saying I'm successful, but I try to reserve judgment unless I know them. Because we don't know what's going on. Maybe there's some dynamic that we don't know about. Maybe it appears that the woman is subservient to the man, but in reality, he's totally doing what she wants him to do. We don't know.
Yeah. Um, I lost my train of thought.
I'm trying not to hog the conversation. That's why I
Oh no,
stopped. I'm like,
I'm trying to let you finish your thoughts because I know that's that's really important. Oh, the competition thing between women that starts early. That
yeah,
starts super early, and
yeah,
then it winds up like in high school judging other girls on how they look. If they look too pretty, they're tramps.
right.
She's a tramp.
And
She
that goes
is.
along with slut shaming.
Yeah.
That's really a thing. A lot of people may think that's a silly term, but it happens.
Yes. Yeah. It's God, the competition between women to break each other down.
Mm-hmm. We're pitted against each other.
It kind of makes me afraid to make many women friends.
Well, and as I think as long as you understand that you have these thoughts and maybe you try not to broadcast them too much, if you know that what you're thinking isn't helpful, then maybe you could learn to interact with other women without broadcasting these thoughts that maybe aren't helpful.
Yeah. I mean, I try when I realize I'm thinking, competitive thoughts like that. I try to counteract it with a more positive thing, stop. No, that's not right. She
Mm-hmm.
just she just wanted to wear heels today. It's totally her decision.
It's her choice.
What what does it have to do with me? How
It
is
has
that going to
nothing.
affect me in any way, shape,
No
or
way.
form today? Unless she decides to come over and step on my toes.
Right. Or hit you with the heel because that could be dangerous. And for all you know, she could be like a spy and she could have freaking poison in her heels. And maybe, that's the practical reason for her heels.
Oh no. Now every woman that has heels is going to be a spy.
That's okay. That's all right. That makes her way more badass than you or me.
Yeah, that's true. I kill people with words. I kill people with my high heels.
And that's
Wow,
okay.
you're cool.
That's, you know what? That's awesome if they do that. I have a lot more respect if someone is able to use society's conventions to their benefit. I mean, like you see in old spy movies where the woman has like poison in her lipstick or a gun in her lipstick or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
right on, that's cool. Sometimes you can use these conventions. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but if
Poison
it
Ivy didn't Poison Ivy have poison perfume and
she
poison
may have,
lipstick?
I could see that. That might be true, yeah.
She
So
was one of the ones that was super sexualized.
she was. And one of the things that I'm mad about with the show Gotham, I love the show Gotham, but they do piss me off sometimes. They started Poison Ivy when they started. She was like a 13-year-old girl. She was prepubescent,
Yeah.
and that wasn't good enough for them. So they had her go into like poison water and be converted to post pubescent. So now
An
she's an
adult, like
adult.
Automatically.
Automatically.
I never read the comics, and I never.
Well, I don't know if this is true to the comics. I don't know. This is a TV show, Gotham.
Oh, the TV show. Okay, they did that in the TV show.
They did.
That's pretty ugly right there.
That pissed me off because they took her from being a prepubescent. They changed actresses. They had a prepubescent girl, like 11, 12 years old, and, you know, long red hair, just really innocent seeming. And then they had her fall into a poison, like environmentally unsafe river. You know what I'm trying to say? Like chemicals and stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and they had her come out as she'd aged like 3 years, and now she has boobs, and now she's an adult, and she's sexy now. That pissed me off.
Okay, now this goes along with something we haven't even talked about, this you know, how we're viewing men sexually.
Yeah.
And comic book characters all the time. They get bitten by, creatures. They fall into, poison vats. They get radioactive, and they come out and they've got a 6-pack. They're 3 inches taller. Their faces like muscly, broad jawed. Mm-hmm. I'm the real man.
Mm-hmm.
What? Come on. Why do you have to do that to guys?
Well, and that's another point. We do get fixated on what we feel like we're being expected to live up to as women. But there's also another paradigm where men are expected to live up to something. And I kind of feel for the guys who don't live up to that. Not all men are brawny. Not all men are alpha males. I've always been, I don't want my boyfriend to hear this, but I've always been attracted to the non-alpha males. Sorry, sweetie, but you're not an alpha male. I'm not attracted to the alpha male. I like the more brainy males. I don't feel like a man has to have the pecs and the super bod and all that stuff. I've just never been into that. Now, I'm not saying I'm not like interested. It's like if I see a picture of that, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But that's not in real life. I understand that most men don't live up to that. That's not even a good way to say it. Most men don't adhere to that. And that's not something I expect in a real mate. To me, that's more of an ideal. I'm happy when I see it in a photograph, but I don't expect it in real life. I understand the difference between a photograph and what I expect in real life. And the sad thing is, I think probably a lot of people don't understand the difference.
Yeah, I mean, it goes through all the way to, even advertising for beer.
Mm-hmm.
What a real American is, what a real man expects. And that is actually an advertising slogan. What a real man expects. You're going to tell all men out there what they should expect. And you're going to tell everyone out there that, only some, 7-foot tall cowboy with, perfect pecs and long legs and boots. They're the only ones that can drive your truck. And a real man only drinks this kind of beer. And this starts from an early age too. Guys are assaulted by these images saying, if you're not this,
you're not a real man.
You're not a real man.
And I can say from talking to Clint, my boyfriend, that leaves an effect on them. That some men feel like they might be lesser than because they don't adhere to these standards. And that's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's not every man. I mean, I truly believe that gender is a spectrum. You have the ultra alpha males, and then you have, pretty normal males on this side. I mean,
and it's not a vertical, you're not up here if you're, super tough and down here if you don't have all the muscles. It's a range.
It is a range.
And it concerns me that a lot of guys don't take chances because they think they're not good enough. They're going to go, well, I really like that girl, but you know, I play video games and eat pizza, and I
She's
really
out
love
of my league.
mommy. She's
Yeah.
out of my league.
Right. And that's
Oh,
bullshit.
how fucking cruel is that?
That is cruel.
Don't
It's
do
like,
that.
no.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that to your kids. Don't do that to
Mm-mm.
your kids.
Don't make them think there is a limit. Don't be Donald Trump. Don't say, well, I'm a 6 and she's an 8. No, that's not the way it
Exactly.
works.
Exactly. She's a 3. I would never date her. You don't know her.
Yeah, she's probably awesome. And you're just going, she's a 3. What are you going on? You're going on your site alone? What does
Yeah.
that mean? If that's all you're going on, that's pretty limited. And I'm sorry, but that sucks.
Or, but do we? I mean, the people who are asked what their perfect woman would look like. Generally, what people concentrate on is looks.
Mm-hmm.
What I concentrated on was what people did. But what kind of guy do you want? I
Who do you
want a
want?
guy who works with computers because that's really cool, and a guy needs to, like books and like the fact that I write and be imaginative. But what kind of guy do you want? What do you mean? I don't know what kind of package he's going to come in.
You just know that you'll find someone you like. You don't think about categories.
Yeah.
Well, how hot is he? How this is he? How this is he? You don't think about that. You're like, I'll just know him when I see him.
Yeah.
It's just the complete person. And you don't let things like that affect you. If you love somebody, you don't think about that. I'm not going to think about his pecs and his
Yeah.
muscles and stuff like that. And I don't want to, I mean, I don't, once again, I don't want to shame someone else who thinks about that. I have plenty of friends who are like, oh, look at him, he's hot. And sometimes I do that too. I'm like, oh, look at that. I'm not trying to shame myself or anyone. It's okay to look at somebody and go, oh, that's hot. I like those muscles.
Appreciate them. Yeah.
Right.
But we shouldn't value them by
Just that.
just that.
There's so much more than that. I mean, a prime example is on Facebook. I put an article on the fellows from Moonlight. They did a photo spread, and they're hot. They got muscles. It's really nice. It's
Yeah.
very GQ looking. And in my little comment, I put, I'm just looking at this for the artistic value, and then kind of like a wink, wink. And that's kind of my way of saying, yeah, I'm not objectifying these men. I mean, whatever, yeah. In a sense, it is objectification because it is hot and I'm posting it and it is hot. But I know it's just hot. I'm not saying that this is all this is to these men. I mean, this is not all.
It doesn't affect our value of feminism.
No,
Not at all.
I don't think so because it's okay. This is kind of what we were saying before too. You can have sexuality. It's okay. You don't have to be asexual. You don't have to be, gender neutral. You can have sexuality and still be a feminist or a humanist or whatever. Sexuality is okay. We like sexuality. If I think some pictures are hot, that's cool. Guess what? I'm pro porn. I don't actually have any porn because most of it I just end up laughing at. But I'm okay with porn. Sexuality is okay. If I find someone sexually hot, that's cool. I'm not saying that that's all they are, and I'm not basing my total judgment on them.
Mm-hmm.
I may find out they're a total asshole, and that will negate any attraction I had. That's just the initial boundary. That's the initial layer. If I find someone sexually attractive, I'm like, that's cool. That's like the gateway. That's the initial entry. And then after that, if they're an asshole, that kind of screws it all up. I'm like, never mind.
So what we really need to do is we need to we need to speak up more when we see it, that, you know, the valuation of somebody is based only on what they're looking at.
That's bad.
And we definitely need to encourage people to stop sexualizing children.
Oh God, yes, and 1,000 times over. Please stop. That's not cool at all.
Yeah.
Beyond cool.
And recognize when those thoughts, when these, you know, these hypersexual or competitive thoughts, I guess.
Yeah.
Competitive thoughts come into our heads, and, you know, recognize when we're doing it.
Right. I would say so. I think that's the most harmful thing, is the competition between women. Because we're breaking ourselves down, and we don't even get a chance. We're not even out of the gate at that point. I think we need to recognize that.
Well, is there anything we haven't covered?
I don't think so.
Let me just, I'm going to check the, no, I'm going to check the YouTube. We are, I don't understand. Sai said we are not men, we are Devo.
I didn't quite get that, so I just said whip it into shape. I'm assuming it's because of the band Devo. They must have said something like that.
Oh, okay. Sai also says he refuses to even attempt to live up to anyone else's standards. Everyone else has a very different yardstick than I have, and I know my yardstick is better because I put thought into what the stick should look like before I constructed it. Excellent. Excellent. That, yes. Create your own yardstick.
I judge myself by myself. I don't let anyone's judgment come in, because they could be assholes for all I know. Yeah. And I can't live my life by other people. I would be exhausted and confused if I tried to live my life by every other person around me.
Yes, absolutely. I think so. This was a pretty good discussion.
I think so.
Well, this has been very good entertainment. We've been talking about hypersexualization and the effects that it has on society. And we will talk to you again when we do our British show next time. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.